Hey, it's Tim Esterdahl, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and if you follow this channel, you know my passion is trucks and SUVs. If that's your passion too, hit subscribe, click the bell, and smash the like button because you love this video. A really cool video for you today. Recently, fellow journalist Sue Mead was in Australia recreating a really epic journey from east to west side of Australia, and I have more videos coming on that pretty soon, so keep watching this channel. Anyway, while she was there, she ran into the MAXTRAX inventor, founder, the dude. She got the guy. Yeah, she did interview this guy. And it's really interesting hearing how he created this product that's used throughout the world and how he got it all started and what he's doing now and, well, what his DNA is about. Trust me, it's a really interesting video. I think you guys would enjoy it, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. We're going to get started right now.
I just spent some time talking to you, and I'm so impressed with your story of how you came to develop the MAXTRAX that are now sold around the world and distributed in 30 countries.
Around about 30,
yeah. So how did you start, and what are you doing here today?
Well, Sue, it's a long story, long convoluted story, but basically got stuck on a beach up in North Queensland researching for a travel guide, four-drive travel guide. Spent 6 hours on a hand winch getting the car out with the tide coming in.
In black mangrove mud.
Yeah, mangrove mud, so covered in black mud, insect bites, sunburnt, dehydrated and exhausted, and at the end of it I thought, got to be a better way than that. 6 hours on a hand winch getting the car out, and got home and went, there's got to be a better way, and I scoured the magazines. This is pre-internet. Scoured some four-drive magazines I had, and all I could find was the old pierced aluminium planking or pierced steel planking from World War II. So I got some of that from the UK, tested that on another trip, didn't really do what it needed to do, and I got a couple of other things, different things from overseas that I thought might be the go. Didn't work, and I thought I want something that I can take with me wherever I go solo, and I can get myself out. So I started working on the MAXTRAX.
So one of the things that I think is so cool is not just that you've built something that, purpose-built something that helps people get unstuck, but you save lives.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
And I think you told me a story about someone in Namibia that called you up after he was able to get out with your product and then said, I want to distribute this. Didn't someone come in and...
Yeah, him and his son had been out in the desert in Namibia, and they were stuck for a couple of days and they couldn't get out, and these people came along in a troopie that were travelling and they had MAXTRAX.
Yeah.
And they got him out in 2 minutes flat, and the guy rang me from a sat phone and said, I want to be a distributor in South Africa because your product just saved our lives, you know?
Yeah.
And he was just amazed that they work so effectively, and he said, God, I'm buying a set now, and I want to start selling them here.
Yeah.
So we've had a few stories like that over the years where people have gone, if we didn't have them, we either would have lost the car or we'd be still stuck in the middle of the desert. Mm-hmm. So it's always good when you get that sort of feedback on your product.
So you're an old, what do you call it here in Australia, bush basher?
Oh no, we don't bash the bush, but you know, I
since
love...
you were young, you said since you were 11 or 12,
yeah.
you went out.
We used to take the old man's car bush bashing, what we call bush bashing, just driving down dirt roads and that, when we were sort of too young to have a license, and and that really was what got me into it. You know, we take the old man's car out, and we lived sort of on the outskirts of Brisbane, so there was plenty of bush to explore, and we'd just go exploring and just go, how good's this, you know? Don't worry about the bike, get the car. Mm-hmm. So I sort of got hooked on travelling and exploring by car when I was this high, and it's in my DNA, you know, I can't help myself. I've got to see what's over that hill or around that corner or down that slope, you know?
Yeah, you have that adventure DNA, that extreme adventure, danger.
The gene, I've got the gene, and I don't know I think it's D47DR or something like that, you know, but they reckon 15 to 20% of us have got it, and I know I've got it, and I know all my mates have got it, and pretty much anyone I associate with has got it, because it's inside you can't help it. You've got it obviously, and you can't help feeding it, you know. You just live for that moment when you're having that experience where you just feel alive, you know, whether you're out in the wilderness and you're driving and you're just thinking, this is as good as it gets. For me, that's it, you know. The more remote, the more risky, you know, the more dangerous, the better, really. Yeah, it's just because you feel alive, you know. And I think when you're out there, all your senses are heightened. Mm-hmm. You know, you're out in the desert and you can be 500 kilometres from the nearest town and maybe the nearest people, and everything's amped up. You hear everything, you smell everything, you see
smells.
everything. You're
It smells of mud on hot car parts.
Yeah.
It should be a perfume.
I think you can buy that.
I want to make it. That's right.
What would you call it? Dirty Weekends?
That's right. So speaking of that, pre-MAXTRAX,
yes.
you told me that you actually did a series of books, or you
guidebooks.
had them guidebooks called
Dirty Weekends.
Dirty Weekends.
Because when I first started doing it, I only had a weekend to go out exploring, and I would go out and I'd explore my backyard, which is South East Queensland, and I'd come back with this great adventure and these beautiful places. Like, we are blessed. Where we are here, we've got so many amazing places to explore by four-wheel drive. We can drive onto a beach 120 kilometres north of Brisbane, and we can drive for 200 kilometres along the coast.
Nice.
You've got to catch a ferry at the 30k mark, but then you can drive another 120 kilometres along Fraser Island, world's largest sand island. Mm-hmm. So we've got all that stuff in our backyard, and I just used to go exploring on the weekends and see it. I'd get the old paper maps and I'd look at the map and go, oh, there's cliffs there, so there's obviously a nice view, and there's waterfalls, and there's a patch of rainforest, and I'm going to go and have a look at that. And I'd go and do it, and I'd come back, and I'd rock up to work on a Monday, and the car would be covered in mud and still full of camping gear and that, and guys would work and go, where you been? And I'm like, up here or over there or whatever, and they're like, oh, how do you get there? So I started actually having little mud maps and fact sheets that I had to carry around with me on the job site, and guys would ask me, and I'd go, oh, what do you want to see, what do you want to do, and where do you want to go? And I'd give them the fact sheet, and they'd go and do it, and they'd come back and say, that was awesome, what else have you got? And it got to the point where I went to a meeting one day, and this architect said to me, you should put this in a book. This isn't available anywhere. This is gold. Put it in a book. And I went, that's my escape from the day-to-day grind, and I can actually be out there exploring and doing what I love doing. And that was how it came about. And then I was working on my fifth book for North Queensland, Cape York, when I got stuck on this beach and spent 6 hours on the hand winch, and then MAXTRAX was born. So it's been at the time you don't realise things happen for a reason, but afterwards you look back and you go, all those things happened to get me where I am now.
So necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah, exactly.
And
as they say.
Here, speaking of exploring, so you are one of the sponsors of this trip, and I think you even are going to go home and do a little work and then try to come and join us. Is that right?
I'd love to. I just said to the boys, I just sent a message to the boys and said, can you get the Jeep on the trail? I'm going to have to tow it into Birdsville tomorrow. And they're like, really? And I'm like, they're like, yeah, joking. I'm like, no, serious. And they're like, okay then.
I love it. Well, before we end, I would love to see if we could look at the back of your Land Cruiser. One of the things you were telling me is that in the U.S., one of the things you've noticed is that some people who go out four-wheeling have an RV and then pull a vehicle behind or trailer it. And you said, down here, a lot of times we just put everything in the back of the vehicle and we just sleep right in the vehicle. Can we look at your vehicle?
Yeah, for sure. So I've basically got a 30-litre fridge in there, slide-out fridge. Oh, strawberries! So we could have done that. And this is just a gear drawer, so it's got compressor hoses, tools, jacks, all that sort of stuff in there.
I'm going to grab my bags. You look at this.
It's amazing. Actually, I got the same setup in my Land Cruiser 130 in Canada.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's great because it's and like particularly in Australia, like we'll go. It's nothing for us to drive 1,400 kilometres in a weekend, like one way, do the stuff, then come back. So you're driving down the highway and you start to get a bit dozy, and we don't have like the fancy rest areas like you guys do in the States. Yeah. So it's just like pull off the side of the road, drive up a little dirt road somewhere, park in a cane paddock and crawl in the back and have a sleep for 6 hours and then come back out on the road fresh, So having that mattress in the back and being able to stay in the car, doesn't matter what the weather's like, as long as you get a flat spot somewhere, it's just great. It's the only way to go.
Yeah, and you got some cool gear. I love your hat. You got some cool gear. I saw you just sort of tossed in there. It's great. Doing business on the fly.
I haven't, most of the stuff in here, that's my emergency skateboard. If the car breaks down, I can skate 35 k's to help.
Is it motorized?
Yeah, electric, yeah.
Wow.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And it even got some kind of a motoring tire.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can see it's had some wear. They're a bit worn.
I went to New Zealand many years ago for the introduction of the world's first motorized skateboard.
Yeah.
It was a four-wheel drive skateboard.
Yeah, right.
And it was developed by the guys that did work at Britain.
Okay.
And they were working on, after they worked on motorcycles, then they started working on hovercraft.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then they developed this motorized four-wheel drive skateboard.
Well, this one's only a two-wheel drive, but it goes. It's
I bet you make it four-wheel drive.
Oh, yeah. Well, I take it off road. I've driven it on the beach at Fraser Island.
Oh my gosh.
And then this is just the our recovery kit, the new recovery kit with all our bits and pieces, all our soft shackles and things.
Nice, nice.
So it's soft shackles, all that gear.
Nice.
Tools, drone. Just a little Mavic. All the bits and pieces that go with that.
And your helmet, good for you.
Oh, there's my helmet. GoPro mount. Just to catch all the crashes, you know. Like I didn't at this gravel race watching TV.
By the way, did you ever see Robbie Gordon's crash in the Dakar a few years ago, where he rolled and his co-driver Andy Grider, and he do this 180, and they land back up on their wheels, or 360, and Robbie goes like this, and then he jumps out, he runs all the way around the vehicle, and just gets back in and just like hauls down the road. The whole time Andy is sitting there just completely dazed, and he cracked his back a bit. I had some Tylenol with codeine, and he ran into me at camp that night, but it's so funny.
Ouch.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure you've had a lot of those adventures. Anyway, thank you so much.
No worries, Sue. Lovely to meet you.
It's really nice to meet you. And as I told you, your MAXTRAX, I don't know that they saved my life, but they saved my bacon.
Yeah.
A couple of times when I was racing in the Gazelle Rally in 2015 in Morocco.
Yeah.
And also, one of the things I shared with you is I've also used them to dig, not only put under the tires, but also to dig out from under.
When you're high-centered.
A lot of times if you're high-centered, it's just really difficult to get in there, and I've used hands that have gotten burned by getting in there.
Well, that was one of the things when I was designing it. I went, I want to be able to use it like a shovel, because a lot of the time you don't have a shovel on board. You know?
Right.
I mean, I've got a mount with I carry a shovel.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't carry a shovel, and sometimes you need that. You know, then you need that length to get in underneath.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, get your work done and come and join us in Birdsville or wherever you're going to join us. All right. Thanks.
Keen.
Thanks for picking me up today.
No worries.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I know I enjoyed it when I saw it. I mean, it's really cool to see how the mother of all invention and this guy's ingenuity created this product that, again, is used throughout the world. So if you thought that was interesting and you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. Again, subscribe, click the bell, stuff we have to do these days. And find us on pickuptrucktalk.com. 3 words, Pickup Truck Talk. Also, Pickup Truck Talk. They work on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're there. Trust me, I've done it. Go ahead and come over there and follow us. I put up some funny images, and it's a good time. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.